everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. This week brought to you by I'm Gus. That's going to be Gavin in a bit.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm the Besties.
And I'm Gus. How are you doing, Besties? I like your podcast. Wait, we're not doing the ad portion yet. We'll get to that in a bit.
We're Besties, all three of us.
Yeah.
And Gavin.
We don't need no stinking Gavin.
We're OG lunch crew.
I was going to... We are.
Oh, yeah. OG
Been a
lunch
while.
crew.
We should get lunch.
A vegan lunch.
Gavin's been really good lately. I was going to start the podcast by complimenting him.
About being on time.
About, like, he's actually started replying to my calendar invites. It's been making planning the podcast a lot easier. He's been super prompt about things.
Did he reply to the
actually,
one that you just sent like 2 hours before?
There was a mistake on that one. Yeah. He actually also proactively told me he was running a little behind schedule for this episode.
Wow.
I was like, wow, it's so responsible.
It's never too late to like start being
An adult?
effective communicator.
An adult, you mean?
Yeah.
I feel like Gavin has talked about this a couple times recently about he's like trying harder now. And I don't know if that means professionally or socially or both.
It's probably, everything across the board. He's trying harder.
Does it mean he wasn't trying before?
It implies that he wasn't doing his best.
Which I think we could all agree on.
Yeah. Anyway, he's not here, so...
So everyone just talk shit right now while you can.
Now's your chance. Who should we get in to sub for Gavin in the next 10 minutes while he's not here?
Get Dennis out here.
Dennis!
No, don't. Dennis, you stay in there.
It's too late. He's here.
3.0.
Hi, Gavin.
Hi.
I was just complimenting you.
Did you start?
Yeah. We started. He's here.
He what?
Oh, shit.
Oh, man, that would have been so funny. I mean, tragic.
I was just saying how you've been replying to calendar invites lately.
Yeah, didn't help me be here on time, but I
Yeah, it's fine.
had to run out of a Mario Let's Play. Mario Kart.
Ooh,
Were you
which
winning?
one?
No, I wasn't winning. It was fine.
Mario Kart 8?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a good game. So, obviously, Oscars last night.
There were the
Yeah.
Oscars last night.
There was something that really annoyed. Did you watch it? Everyone watch it? I know you did.
Yes.
Yeah, me and Jordan were doing a watch party
how did you
with
do that?
Cole and Hannah.
I feel
How?
like if I wanted to do that, I would be told no.
I didn't ask anyone's permission.
You just did it.
Hey!
I feel like if I was like, I want to do this, I'd be like, no, you can't.
I had a good time.
It was fun.
I would like to have gone, but it's like I would rather watch the Oscars.
I did invite
home.
Gus,
Yeah.
and he said, good idea, but no.
Yeah, I'd rather watch the Oscars at home, and I know the telecast always runs late. So it's like I don't want to be
We were there until like 11 o'clock.
right somewhere and be like, oh,
Yeah.
I've got to go home now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we started at like 6:45.
Yep.
We luckily didn't do the whole red carpet thing because that would have been
No. Yeah.
disastrously long. Too long.
Didn't feel too long, though.
What annoyed
It
you?
was paced well. Yeah.
I don't like that James Corden and Rebel Wilson came out dressed as cats, made fun of visual effects in the movie that they were just in, and then gave out the Academy Award for visual effects.
I saw it as...
Seems kind of fucked up.
A little bit.
I saw it as them trying to like finally like put the nail in the coffin of like the cats jokes.
A lot of
like we all
people-
acknowledge it was bad.
Yeah,
lot of
but I
people,
mean, at
including-
the Academy Awards, and I mean, like these visual effects were shitty, but we're going to give an award to a movie that wasn't. I mean, what?
I mean, they were shitty. I saw the movie. They were very bad.
So a lot of people were saying, I think including us on our live stream, were saying that their costumes that they came out in as cats looked better than the visual effects of them as cats
100%.
in the movie. Like they should have just done that.
That's what cats should have looked like.
I thought it was funny when they were twatting the mic all around.
That was very funny.
ages.
But then
And
that
the guy controlling it was like making it go up and down.
it sounded terrible. I was like, stop, just stop. We get it. We got the joke.
Yeah.
You can stop now.
They needed to stop hitting the actual mic and
That
hit
didn't,
the
bug,
stand.
that didn't bug me at all. I like it when people make fun of themselves.
Or other
It's
people
not
who
making
worked
fun
hard
of
on their
themselves.
movie.
Making fun of, other people who worked on their movie.
But they worked. Nobody said, like, nobody's not saying they didn't work hard. They worked hard. It just wasn't good.
They're just saying they work shitty.
Yeah. Their work was bad. And I think we can all agree with that.
But I feel like the Academy Awards should be like a celebration of movies. It's not like the Razzies.
That's true.
It shouldn't be like
That's
dragging movies through the mud.
I do
I
like
agree
having a
with
comedic element though to it. Like I like those moments where you could kind of poke fun at yourself. 'Cause
I like
think,
having no
if
host.
It's too serious. It's like kind of boring.
I'm still blown away that there's like hair and makeup Oscars, but no stunt Oscars.
Yeah.
Is it not? Do they have like the technical ones that they give out before, like the day before?
Yeah,
and
but I don't
stuff, like
think
at
there's
the
a stunt
Emmys?
one in there,
There's
yeah.
still no stunt one.
I mean, there was someone mentioning it last night. How
It was Brad Pitt, I think. Yeah.
that yeah.
Also, I also started wondering last night, like, why are some of the Oscars that they give out during the televised Academy Awards on that show and not in the technical one? Like visual effects, and sound mixing, sound editing.
Sound
They're-
mixing
they're
and sound
important,
editing, yeah.
But those
I can
are
see those.
technical achievements, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't they be?
So what are the
But the
other
technical
technicals that are not on the night?
That's an excellent question. I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
Technical.
Vamp, guys, vamp.
Parasite.
No, I want to talk about that.
Okay, yeah.
Don't
I'm
talk
sure
about that
Gus
yet.
wants to be involved in that conversation.
There's something I read about that. That's okay. No. Fuck.
Well, we had when we did the stream, we had our ballots basically
Yeah.
where we would like pick our winners for each category.
Did horribly.
I had probably seen the least amount of everything that was nominated. Hannah had seen like all the short films and documentaries.
Yeah, somehow
God.
she saw all of them.
Like everything.
Including the winner, I think.
And I think you guys saw like a majority of the films
I
nominated.
saw 9 of the 10 Best Picture movies.
I think I saw 4. But most of my guesses were complete,
You did,
uneducated. I'm going to pick this one because the name sounds
and
cool.
you did better than all of us.
And I got 9 right.
But that's actually how the people vote on the Oscars.
It's true.
They just look at the
name
name and
sounds
think, that could win. That
Yeah.
sounds like it's an Oscar
They
winner.
don't actually watch it. Or in the Best Animated Feature, they ask their kid which movie they liked, and it's always the Pixar one.
I also predicted Eminem coming out in a very weird
did?
moment.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, because they were going through all the songs, and then they got to Eminem's part in that montage video.
Yeah, they
And I-
showed a little 8 Mile.
And I was like, wouldn't it be funny if, like, all of a sudden, Eminem live on stage,
then
like,
he
right,
starts
guys? And then
rising
10
up.
seconds later,
I
He
can't
looked
find it.
he looked a bit out of breath.
he's old
Hey,
now.
he's in
not
his
that old.
40s.
Come on. Hey.
Isn't he like 50?
No.
He's not 50.
How
I
old
think
is
he's,
Eminem?
I think he's like, I want to say he's like 45.
I think he's mid-40s as well.
He's 47.
Okay,
So
All right,
he's
that's close to 50.
Almost 50. He's closer to 50 than 40.
I think he's allowed to be out of breath.
All right, he's old.
See?
When I hit 47, you can call
He's
me old,
older than
too.
you.
Yes, he's older
Wouldn't you
than
be
me.
out of breath on
But-
stage if you were doing that?
Yes.
It was
100%.
It was cool how much that song has had an impact though. Like everyone was on their feet.
Yeah.
There was some awkward crowd reaction.
Right at
Yes.
the beginning.
Martin Scorsese looked very confused.
Yeah.
Billie Eilish was like, "Who is this old man?"
Yeah.
Yeah, Billie Eilish looked confused a few times. I think when she looked confused then and during
I don't
the...
know if it was confused
Kristen
or one of
Wiig?
those faces when you're enjoying something and you're going like this.
Well, she definitely looked confused during the Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph
Yeah, that was
bit.
like her best. Billie Eilish's best look was during that bit. She was
probably-
kind of going, and she was like,
She definitely doesn't know who they are.
Didn't she not know who was it Led Zeppelin was? There's like some
Somebody that she should have known.
Yeah.
Van Halen.
Van Halen.
Van Halen.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Good joke, Jordan.
Thanks.
But so I read something. I think it was yesterday during the day. I read someone was talking about Parasite. I think Freddie Wong retweeted it and talked about it a little bit. But someone said that they viewed Parasite as everyone saw it, right? All three of you?
Yes,
Seen Parasite?
absolutely.
No? Okay, you have not.
I'm watching it tonight.
Okay, it's really good. You should absolutely watch it.
Just in time.
But the thing that I read that Freddie Wong retweeted said that they viewed Parasite as a metaphor for South Korea's fear of reunification with North Korea.
Their fear.
Right.
Oh, that's because a lot of South Koreans are like a little prejudiced to
Well,
North
South Korea
Koreans.
is also like better off than North Korea
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
And
They
it's
kind of
like,
look down on them.
right. It's like, how do you,
I thought North Korea was the greatest country.
if you live there, it is. So I thought that was a really interesting.
That is interesting.
Take on that.
I'm now, like replaying parts of the movie in my head, being like, yeah, I can see how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Like the rich guy always commenting on how like poor people smell.
Right.
There's a comment in the chat that's going to fly by the time I could read it. It says, "Am I the only one who thought Parasite won because it was the most diverse? I mean, it went up against 3 movies that had 30 nominations. It was clear underdog, but it won Best Picture and Best Foreign Language.
Was it clear underdog?
It was first of all, it was nominated for a ton of different awards. It was also a fucking phenomenal movie.
It might be my favorite movie of all time.
I
I think
don't-
I said that after I watched it.
Yeah.
The
I
Draft
feel
House.
like I'm about to watch the movie with the most hype I've ever had.
You might be.
that's
Like
scary. That's scary.
Everyone was
Let us
already
know.
saying how good it was,
Here's
and
the
then
thing.
last night it won like 4 Oscars.
I think it will exceed your expectations.
Even still,
I think so.
It's so good.
It's-
It's really good.
There-
It's hard to
They're-
explain.
I'm
Like,
gonna be watching it thinking this is Gus's favorite movie.
It might be
of
my
all
favorite movie of
movies.
all time. I
think-
think I've watched it 4 or 5 times by this point.
when you get to a certain point, and it's the point that like everything kind of changes, you'll be like, oh, I see now.
Okay,
I think
I'm also we're gonna watch it and have food, like themed food. So I thought, what is most likely to give me a parasite? So we're just gonna have some raw meat.
I would
That-
think you would eat
that-
Korean food, but okay, but most likely to give you a parasite is another direction you can take that in.
so you're
Super
not
rare beef.
you're not going to the theater to watch it? You're watching it at home?
I mean, it's already out on thingy, isn't it?
Yeah,
VOD.
some Blu-ray.
I just know like some theaters are playing it now that
Oh,
it's
no, I
has
don't
the
wanna go
Oscars
outside.
run.
I thought you were gonna say like Ramdan or something, like something from the movie.
Yeah.
And then it's just Parasite food. Well, let me know how that turns out too.
I will,
And
thank
which
you.
one you get.
Yeah, which parasite? Got to get them all. What kind of parasites are there like commonly?
Well, like hookworm, tapeworm.
ringworm?
Tapeworm. Is tapeworm the
yeah.
one that like you'll lose weight because it's eating all
It's
the
eating
stuff
your
that
food,
you
yeah,
eat?
in your intestine.
And I think if it gets big enough, it can come out your butt when you're pooping.
Gross.
There's the one that cats give you that lives in your brain.
Yep,
You probably already have that one.
definitely.
What's the one that like you could get if you go into like contaminated water and it goes into your brain?
Oh, that's an amoeba.
Amoeba. Okay.
Yeah,
Hookworm is horrifying. That's the one that like gets in your foot, right?
I believe so. Yeah,
Goes in your foot, and then what?
it goes up into you.
Into your brain?
It slowly goes. It works its way around your entire body, visiting all the major organs.
Let's not talk about parasites, please. We can talk about Parasite, but not parasites.
Great movie.
like Alien
I
versus
think everyone
Aliens.
should watch it. I think during his Golden Globes acceptance speech, I forget exactly what he said, but Bong Joon-ho said something like, if you can get over that intimidation of 1 inch of text at the bottom of the screen, you can really open up your
It's a whole new world.
a whole new world of film that you haven't
Literally,
seen before.
because the rest of the world doesn't speak English.
Right, and it's absolutely worth it. I was a little concerned after they were going through all the awards, and typically, if a director wins Best Director, their movie also wins Best Picture.
Yeah.
But a notable exception was Roma, which is another foreign language film that was nominated for Best Picture, which won Best Director but did not win Best Picture.
Yep.
So I was like, when they won Best Foreign Language or Best International Feature,
Yeah, they changed that.
They changed the name. They won Best Director. I was like, oh shit, they're gonna get Roma. They're totally gonna get Roma again.
I felt the opposite. I was like, I felt like Parasite had a chance all of a sudden. That like people like on the Academy like really liked the movie more than just for like the international category.
God, it's so good.
I
And
saw-
then like it gave all of us hope. And then like there's somebody took a really good screenshot of like when Jane Fonda was reading the winner for Best Picture, and like she just says like pear, and then like we just like threw our arms up.
Yeah.
All of us are like celebrating.
It looks like
kind
we're
of
on a
left like
roller
a pause
coaster.
there. She
Yeah.
opened it. It was like,
Yeah, she really played it up.
Didn't want to get the name wrong.
Yeah, there's a screen cap of us. It looks like we're on a roller coaster
Yeah,
because
all
all
of our
4
arms
of us
up,
are
we're
like,
"Wee!"
I loved all the nods to Travolta's flub. Like, you will
God.
never live that
Adele
down. It happened
Dazeem.
like 2 or 3 times.
there's not a good night to be Travolta. He's getting dunked on all
That was
night.
another part of like one of my favorite moments of the Oscars was when they performed Into the Unknown for the Frozen song, and they
That
had
was really
all the
cool.
other language
That was cool, yeah.
singers there. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
The Harriet song performance was also really cool.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That
yeah,
made
she
me,
fucking
like-
Was
killed
it stand up? No.
Yeah. I think it was called Stand Up. Yeah.
stand up or something like that.
Yeah, she was amazing.
But like, yeah, we were all like, I think I want this one to win now.
Yeah.
I read that
Could we change our votes?
if that singer had won an Academy Award last night, she would have been the youngest person ever to EGOT.
Whoa.
She's already...
Yep.
Whoa.
Damn.
Fuck.
And she was nominated for the song and for Best Actress.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
So how
Harriet.
old is she?
I don't know.
She's probably in her mid-20s.
Cynthia
Erivo?
Erivo? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you go from there?
You're done.
You were tired.
No,
Yeah, you're done.
You do
double
it hard
EGOT.
mode. You EGOT. You prestige and EGOT. You do it again.
I can't imagine like mid-20s EGOT just be
Oh,
like...
never mind. She's 33.
Oh, okay. Well,
My
that's way
bad.
less impressive.
Yeah.
It's still
What's the point?
But like 33 and being like, well, I've done entertainment.
Yeah.
What's next?
let me get into
NASA. I'll work at
It's
NASA.
time to work on science.
Yeah.
I saw.
What is the EGOT equivalent in science?
You have to win like
Nobel
a
Prize.
Nobel,
Yeah.
a MacArthur Fellowship.
There is one that...
MacArthur Prize.
There is a funny acronym that does all that. I think like being knighted is in there and Nobel Prize and all this other stuff.
Interesting.
It's like a goofy one. Like, it's not...
Being knighted, Nobel Prize. No. I'm sure there is. I just can't find it.
I think it technically, like a few people have got it, which is why it's like a mentioned thing.
I bet Paul McCartney has it.
I saw.
Maybe.
I'm going to go back to the Academy Awards here for a second. I saw a really cringy question
Oh no.
being asked of Bong Joon-ho
Okay.
no.
about Parasite. The interviewer asked him why he decided to make the film in the Korean language.
Yeah. Why did he?
And
How did he even respond to
What
that?
gives?
He has made he made Snowpiercer, so he has
Right,
made
yeah.
English language films
Yeah,
before.
sure.
but he said, he wanted
So maybe it was more a question about like, why did you want to like limit the audience or something?
maybe.
Or
But
why not English, I think, is
Yeah.
essentially the question.
Right, it just came across as weird.
He said he thought the movie was something uniquely Korean, but turns out like when other people started seeing it and relating to its message, he was like, oh, everyone kind of feels this way.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
People
So,
are asking what EGOT is. It's Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Yeah.
Yee.
EGOT.
It's,
You got it.
very, very rare. So you have to be very talented.
I learned that yesterday because you guys were talking
Yeah.
about
Oh, yeah. We were
EGOT.
talking about that. Yeah.
And I was like,
I think I learned about it from
What's EGOT?
I learned about it from 30 Rock.
So did I. That's what I said. I
got
thought,
one.
He got one.
I thought 30 Rock invented
So
it.
did I.
Yeah. Did they?
I don't think they
No,
did.
no.
Yeah. I think it's like a very like inside industry kind of thing.
If you had
and
to-
then they popularized it.
If you won one of those 4 awards, what one do you think you'd want to win?
Oscar.
Oscar?
I think it's
Yeah.
the most prestigious.
Oscar.
For me, yeah, Oscar, because I don't music.
But yeah,
I think
the
that-
one I'm least likely to win,
Tony.
or Grammy.
I just think the Emmy statue is cooler.
Is
The
it the
Emmy
one where it's
statue
like
is really
the
cool.
person
And
with
the
like the
ball.
big
the wings
Yeah.
and the globe thing.
It's not just a bloke just stood there.
Audrey,
Yeah, what's he
Audrey,
even
just some
doing?
bloke
Audrey Hepburn
named
has an EGOT.
Oscar?
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
I'm looking through the list here. Mel Brooks.
I mean,
that makes sense.
is James Corden close?
I'll look in a second.
He must have won Emmy and Tony.
Whoopi Goldberg, I knew that one.
Did you see the funny picture of Bong Joon-ho making the Oscar statues kiss? And he's just got like the slightest smile on his face. He's like,
My favorite part of the entire night, and you probably know this based on my reactions, was I think it was after the first Oscar he won or the second one, where he was on stage with some other guy, and the other guy's talking, and you just see him in the background holding his Oscar, and he's
Yeah.
just like,
giggling.
yeah,
and
he
he's
kinda
just
smiles
smiling at it, like looking at it and holding it, and like looking at the audience and looking at him, like he's so pure.
That's
very
a
cute.
hell of a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a funny Instagram story of Taika Waititi like shoving his Oscar under the chair
Yeah.
in front of
I
him.
think Brie Larson took that video because she was sat across from
He
him.
didn't know where to put it.
And then he went on about how the laptops on MacBooks are so shit. And like that's what the Writers Guild can improve or something.
James Corden has
God.
an Emmy,
I'm really happy Taika
no
won.
Grammy.
Could we talk about Diane Keaton and why it looked like she was like ready for like a night outside on a cold evening?
What was she
Got a
doing?
Tony. Yeah, that was
She was wearing like a jacket that looked like a winter coat and a hat, and it seemed like she was
She
maybe
had like
drunk
she had like a
or-
pantsuit on and then a big coat on over it with a big belt
and like a hat.
and a hat.
Yeah. I was like, is it really cold in there?
in LA inside.
Yeah, inside in LA.
Yeah, it's always really cool to watch Academy Awards. I remember watching it like as a kid, and trying to learn about all the different things that people do to make movies. It was always something that was interesting to me.
Yeah, I always liked it too, and I'm like I would never like have seen most of the movies like when animated feature came up. That would be the only category, but it made me want to watch more movies, and like it helped me like get exposed to like more best pictures and stuff. Yeah.
I think I watched almost every film that was up for an Academy Award.
Really?
this
Everyone?
year. I said almost.
Okay.
I've watched quite a few because I didn't see the documentary shorts.
Yeah.
Or
Did you do any sort of like ballot thing?
What do you
Like where you
Like,
like
guess-
guessed who was
put your
going to win
guesses
for
in.
you?
No, I didn't. I should
I
have.
feel like you would have cleaned up.
I don't know.
I don't know.
There were some upsets. I thought.
Yeah, my methodology was try to like think like the Academy would, and that got me. I got 5 right. So
I thought Joe Pesci would have won supporting actor over
Oh,
Brad
really?
Pitt.
Really?
I thought he had
I
a
was
better
very
performance.
surprised that Brad Pitt won.
Yeah.
I thought if Brad Pitt was going to win, then Leonardo DiCaprio was going to win.
Well, we said multiple times on the stream that Brad Pitt was playing Brad Pitt.
Yeah, it was just.
in Once
I
Upon a
was
Time in Hollywood.
so surprised that they gave him an award for that.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Joe Pesci's acceptance speech for his other Oscar?
Yeah, when he won for Goodfellas.
Yeah.
No,
best,
what'd he do?
Best speech ever.
Oh, it's just a good speech.
Tell me about it.
He was like,
You can probably recite it from memory.
it's my pleasure, thanks.
Ooh.
And then he walked off.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. I think
Yeah.
it's great.
I don't want to
straight
hear
to the
about
point.
every single person involved in
Yeah.
your success. Just like, thanks, got it.
Don't need to know what agency you're thanking.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure people appreciate it.
It's an important moment for them. I mean, I don't want to rob them of that. I think if they want to take a little bit of time
How did you feel about
just thank Esther and then get off the stage? Is that what you would do?
How did you feel about the political mentions?
They were not as bad as like years past or like numerous, but Brad Pitt like went out there and just like first thing he said was about the impeachment hearing and stuff.
Yeah. He actually seemed pretty nervous. He actually looked nervous.
There were a few people I thought that went up there that seemed really
totally
nervous.
understandable. I mean, you could be the most famous person in the world and still shit yourself in front of your peers.
Yeah, it's true.
I would hate to do that.
It's like
Definitely.
it's an emotional moment. You're the only one up there. The studio, like the theater's huge. Everyone's like looking at you.
The studio paid a lot of money for that award. Kidding.
Campaigning for it.
Is there any monetary, like, do you get anything?
Like a cash prize?
You can either take the Oscar or take $50,000 in cash.
Really?
No.
I mean, I would take $50,000.
You said that so well, so seriously.
I feel like there'd just be a pile of Oscars on
right.
Yeah, cool, thanks. But like, I don't know. Is there any sort of monetary incentive?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's just like a resume thing.
Probably sell it on eBay.
I don't think you're allowed to.
I don't think you're allowed to. I think also, a lot of the time you have to pay for the
Don't you have to pay
physical
for the Oscar?
statue.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I think, I think there's a clause like you can sell it on eBay or like you can resell it, but you have to first give the Academy first option to reclaim the statue. Which
They're going to take it. They have a museum.
They will always take it back rather than let you
Well, they could reuse it.
resell it.
Yeah, my old boss won an Emmy and he had to, I think he bought the statue for $400 or something.
Wow.
not
I'm
bad.
out $400
That's
because
a
I
lot
won
of-
an award. Bullshit.
It's a lot of money.
What if we somehow get Uno the movie nominated?
Uno the movie, Achievement Hunter musical. We're halfway to an EGOT right now.
Bloodfest. We can nominate Laser Team. Mm-hmm. Laser Team 2.
I think it's probably too late for all of those.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to burst anyone's bubble, but a couple of years late on all of these.
Nah.
We should have tried to submit Uno the movie for an Oscar.
Could we do it for a Razzie? Thank you, Gus.
Well, I wouldn't
was
win
bothering
because it
me.
was so good, Barbara.
Barbara?
So I watched some. I rewatched some old anime over the weekend. You know, Studio Ghibli movies are available on digital now. So
Where at?
I bought them on Apple TV. What's it called now? It used to be called iTunes. It's called Apple TV now.
I just call it the thing with the shitty remote.
The thing with the shitty remote.
That's the one.
I don't use that remote. I have a universal remote, but that thing. I rewatched My Neighbor Totoro and Princess Mononoke.
Nice.
I actually saw Princess Mononoke in the theater, like when I first moved to Austin at the old Regal Arbor before they moved it. But since I watched both of those movies, it got me thinking about like the first anime I ever saw as a little kid. And I can actually remember the first time I saw anime, the first time that it was on TV. I have no idea how I saw it. I was flipping through the channels. It might have been like on HBO or something when I was a little kid, but I saw Nausicaa Valley of the Wind.
I don't even know what that
It's
is.
like it's an old Ghibli movie, an old
okay.
Miyazaki movie.
Gotcha.
But it was like one of those things where it's like, I was a little kid. It was the mid '80s. It's like it was on, and I loved it. And I was like, I have no idea what the fuck I just watched. It's like I don't know when it's ever going to be on again. I don't know how to ever find it.
I don't know what it was.
Right?
Yeah, I remember I was somewhere in Spain and I on TV found Spirited Away and it had Spanish subtitles, but the audio was in Japanese.
Oh, so it was
And
no
I
use to you.
didn't know what the hell was happening.
What part was it? What part was it on?
I would love to have heard what you thought that movie was about after watching
Yeah,
it that
it's like
way.
there's this bitch with the giant kid and like what? And
Bitch with the
baby.
giant kid.
I missed the part where the parents turn into pigs.
This
I think
kinda
I was started
reminds me-
out
Right, yeah.
I think I mentioned this on the podcast once or twice before, but this kind of reminds me of a situation that me, Michael, and Lindsay were in. We went to a convention in Germany, but it was an anime convention. And so they had a lot of guests from Japan there. And they had a translator. They had multiple translators that would translate German to Japanese and Japanese to German. But they had no one doing English. So it was just like they would say something and then translate it for the Japanese guests. And they'd be like clapping. And we'd be sitting there just like, I have no idea what's going on.
When everyone
whole
else claps,
time.
you just clap too.
Yeah.
I always find it fun to be in a place where English isn't around
At all.
at all. And
At
it's like,
all.
oh, this is what most of the world feels like when they come to America or
Yeah.
England.
I know. It makes you appreciate all the people who take time to learn English for you when you're in other countries and stuff like that.
It's true. They're the real heroes.
They are.
When I went to Mexico, I tried to speak as much Spanish as I could, and I just embarrassed myself so many times.
Do you know a lot of Spanish?
I know. I took Spanish 1. So
I think you mean
I
poquito.
know. Yeah. I know the very basics. I don't know how to conjugate a lot of stuff.
Do people here learn Mexican Spanish? Or like Spanish?
That's a good question.
I think it's Mexican Spanish.
In the books,
What is the name of Mexican Spanish?
It's in the books. I think they call it European Spanish. I don't know.
No, that's Castilian. That's Spain Spanish.
Are they that
but
different?
They're very different.
There are
Spain
like
Spanish has a whole verb tense that does not exist in New World Spanish.
in the book, in the textbook and stuff, they always had that tense.
the
and stuff.
vosotros tense.
Yes.
Oh.
I wonder if
But we just never learned it.
So if
They're
you went
just
to
like,
Spain, would
they're
you
like,
have
ignore that?
trouble?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
What
if
does vosotros mean? Like,
I don't know. I don't understand
Is
it.
it another we
I don't.
thing?
I think it is. I don't know.
if you learned European Spanish, having learned Mexican Spanish first, would you have a Mexican
I
accent?
don't like that we're calling it
Yes.
Mexican Spanish. Can I
know
just
what
say?
You do because I remember when I lived in Puerto Rico.
Did they speak Mexican Spanish there?
They speak Puerto Rican Spanish, which is its own dialect.
Am I being insensitive by accident?
I mean, you're just having to clarify. But when I was in Puerto Rico, I tried to drop my Mexican Spanish accent and tried to adopt a Puerto Rican Spanish accent.
Interesting.
To try to blend in. So yeah, there are.
Can you give an example of the way you would say two
say
things?
me llamo Gus.
So I mean, it's a lot of it. So in Puerto Rican Spanish, they drop a lot of the S's. Like they become silent. Like you just kind of gloss over them.
Interesting.
And there's also different words for things.
Like crisps and chips.
Yeah, I mean, honestly. So, like, for example, in Mexico, you would call a bus like an autobus.
Mm-hmm.
But in Puerto Rico, you call it a wawa.
I like that one way better.
In Mexico, you would call a match a fosforo. But in Puerto Rico, you call it a fofo.
I love hearing you say these
Theirs is like way cuter.
So, in Puerto Rico, just say the first syllable twice of every word. and you
Sometimes.
pretty
Like,
much
those
nail
are
it.
extreme examples, okay, but not wawa. I mean, I have no idea why
How do you say
that is.
car?
Coche.
You could say coche, or
caro.
you could also
Is
say caro.
caro one of them? Okay.
But caro also means expensive, depending on how much emphasis you put on the R.
Because I saw a TikTok where there was this woman who bought, I guess, her Mexican housekeeper a new car. And she's crying. And then the woman is just like, something caro. And then all the comments were just like, LOL, she said caro, like trying to sound Mexican. And some of the comments were just like, that's how you say
That's how
it
you
in
say it.
Spanish.
Yeah, there was
I didn't know that.
I remember when I was in high school, one of my friends had an exchange student from Argentina who was staying with him. And obviously he spoke Spanish. So whenever we were hanging out, like we'd always speak Spanish around this kid. And we told him, like we were all hanging out. We were going to go to like Pizza Hut or something. Go get some pizza. I think we were going to play D&D. But anyway, we told him like, let's all go out. Let's get in La Troca, which is Spanglish
Truck?
for truck. Yeah. Like it's not actually, you would say like camioneta or something for truck. But anyway, so we said troca, which is like a Spanglish word. And I remember he stopped in his tracks and looked at us and was like, wait, where are we going? What are we doing?
What word did he think?
And we were like, oh, we're going to get in the camioneta and go to the Pizza Hut. He goes,
cut your head off.
He said, because in Argentina, troca means whorehouse.
hell yeah. Party time.
He like hops in the truck, super excited, like, let's go.
So yeah, so all that's to, yes, there are different accents and different ways of saying things. It's really fucking confusing.
Argentine Spanish also has a very unique accent and dialect. Like the way they say eggs, I think, is different.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they say like with a J sound instead of a
yeah.
sound.
Well, I mean, there's some accents even within Mexico like that.
Yeah.
Like, napkins are servilletas. But if you have like an interior Mexico accent, you'd say servilletas.
Ah.
Almost like with a J sound instead of a double L.
Soft J. Oh, interesting.
So yeah. So yes, there are tons of accents.
I remember.
It makes total sense. Like England is a tiny country, but I could pick out like 15 different
Yeah,
accents.
you got
just
like the
a tiny
Brummies,
little
the
island.
Cockneys, you got...
Yeah, the Geordies, the Scousers.
And plus, so
West
this is
Country.
like that, but on a global scale. It's like whole different countries with huge geographical
How would you
differences.
describe the Scouser accent? Because I listened to a podcast.
Hey, calm down.
They just seem to drop like the last
All
letter of every
high-pitched.
word. Instead of saying but, they say buh.
Yeah, a lot of that, and like a lot of stuff sounds like a question when
Yeah.
it's probably an insult.
Yeah.
Like
You
fucking
look really
mate.
good today.
Yeah, I love it.
Eric says hi.
Eric Badur?
Yeah.
Is he still in Hawaii?
Is he back yet?
He's in an airport.
Which one?
Tell him to brag
Well,
about
I'd rather not say it while he's actually there.
What are his coordinates?
Yeah. I just want to know what the carpet's like.
Yeah,
That's
tell
kind of
him.
your thing, isn't it?
Wait, what?
It's the only thing you can do at airports. I started doing this thing where anytime I'm in an airport, I take a picture of the airport carpet and then post it on Instagram and give it a rating.
Oh, see, I do a thing where I pick a chair and I sit in it and then I look on my map to see if I'm facing where I'm going.
I do that now
That's
too.
fun,
Ever
too.
since you did
Cool.
that.
Is that on Google Maps or Apple Maps that you do that on? Or whatever it is.
I don't think I have Apple Maps
You can
anymore.
do it on Google Maps.
Yeah.
Is Google
Yeah.
Maps?
I just try to sit like in where my plane's going to land.
Oh.
Do you try to figure out like where do you have to like position yourself if you're
Yeah,
not
sometimes I
facing?
try
So
and
are
like, be dead on.
We're all facing different
going
directions
that
right
way.
now, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, what country am I facing?
You're facing Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico.
Let me,
I'm facing
me verify.
New Mexico, the state.
So Gavin's loading it up.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm
man,
I'm
like,
looking
directly,
straight at
yeah,
Mexico.
like
What's up, Mexico?
The middle of it.
Buenas noches.
Coming to you in
we
vivo.
should put a screenshot of all of our dots, like on the US.
Where it is. So I get lazy sometimes. Like in Mexico, there's different greetings for different times of day. Like buenos dias, buenas tardes, buenas noches. I get lazy. I don't want to keep track. I just say buenas. So like buenas, whatever.
Isn't that what you say when you answer the phone? You just say bueno?
Bueno, yeah,
Was that good?
Yeah.
yeah. But it's not, like if you pick up the phone, it's.
I don't know why.
And then when
It's
you
like
when
good?
you want to hang, you say bueno bye, which is like
Do
literally
you really?
yeah, goodbye,
Bueno, bye.
bueno bye.
You don't say adios?
I don't know if that's everywhere, but I know that's like
You
growing
should
up on
start
the
saying
border.
hello, bueno.
It's like bueno bye.
It's pretty cool
Bueno, bye. I love
looking
it.
at Google Maps and like if you zoom out enough and you could see like San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, Austin, and you see that like the cluster of orange and red from all the traffic,
Oh, the traffic,
in
yeah.
those cities. Like
Ugh.
they're all clustered into. You can't really see it on my phone too well, but I
Yuck.
find that fascinating. Like go to any state and you can see where like the biggest cities are just from doing that.
I recently posted a zoomed out view of the US. Well, actually, the world where all my pictures were taken. And a lot of people were asking me, like, oh, what were you in, Tennessee for? And I'd be like, I don't know. Let me check. Let me check what.
What picture did you take?
Just reply with a photo.
Yeah. And sometimes I'd zoom in. I'd be like, well, that's just a photo of the airport. Maybe I was connecting there. I don't know.
It's a picture of the airport carpet.
Sat in a chair. Chat is in Mexico, by the way.
Oh.
Did you say chat or Chad?
Chat, like I'm facing the chat, but
Yeah.
I'm facing
Oh, the
Mexico.
chat. Okay, I got you. I was very confused. 'Cause I looked over and it said, like a couple people saying hola. I was like, did he change it to Spanish? Is the chat in Mexico now?
Please, everyone, translate your messages into Spanish. Thank you.
Google Translate traffic. Just
they're,
goes,
they're facing Canada, though. That screen,
it's true.
right?
Yeah, I guess so. That one's a little askew. It might be like
Yeah.
out in Alaska or
Would it-
something.
Like Russia, maybe?
Maybe. So you were looking at Google Maps. Google Maps celebrated their 15th anniversary the other day.
Really?
Yeah, which is crazy to me.
That's it?
I didn't realize Google Maps didn't exist when we started Rooster Teeth, which is a really weird thing to me.
You just use MapQuest, right?
Oh yeah, MapQuest.
Print 'em
yeah.
out.
I was trying to think of like what I used before. Yeah, I would print out MapQuest directions if I was going somewhere.
It makes you sound so old. You're
It
gonna sound.
does, yeah.
It's gonna happen more and more as you continue to get older.
I bet this guy used to use maps.
I did. I used,
Pulled out the atlas in
we
the
used to
back.
carry the trunk. We would have maps and atlases.
Let me look at the old A to Z.
We had to find a map when we did that
We're
Last
on
of Us
H3.
video.
Yeah.
A long time. We did an RT Life where we tried to find the locations from The Last of Us because in the opening they're in Austin.
Yeah.
And so Gus actually had to buy a physical map, and I don't know if we even used it once.
That's a good little challenge, though, for like millennials. Like, you have to find a landmark or something somewhere around Austin, but you have to use an actual map.
map,
You
yeah.
can't Google Map or use Apple Maps, which
Get-
is like using an old map because it's useless.
Apple Map.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Hate
Oh,
it.
here comes the Spanish.
It's gotten better. It really has. It's gotten good enough to where I've reinstalled it on my phone, but I still use Google Maps every time.
Same.
Yeah.
Google Maps changed its logo, and it confused me for a second.
Yeah. It was
changes
for their
icon.
15th anniversary.
I guess that makes sense now.
Yeah.
It's all adding up.
I didn't realize since I got an Apple Watch recently and I didn't disable it when I was using it, but I was using my phone for directions for somewhere. and my watch would start vibrating every time it wanted me to like have a turn coming up. And I was like, that seems
I don't like that.
real. And like it would show on the watch like the direction you had to go in. It's like, that's fucking annoying. Also, I feel like that's somewhat dangerous. Although I guess if it's just vibrating and you know
But when you're driving, your hand is already in front of you.
Yeah, it's a little
yeah,
better
but
than looking at your phone.
you still have to go like
Yeah, you're just like, well, where am I going? Turn right. The car goes.
you still have to like flip it so you're not actually on the wheel anymore.
It's useful if you're walking.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's the only time I've experienced it, and it's fine.
It never happens to you while you're driving?
Not a lot. No.
No,
Interesting.
weird.
It's almost like you don't drive.
Turn coming up.
Did you see that clip of the mother who was in VR talking to her dead daughter?
No.
What?
What? Go on, explain.
I guess there's some show. It was a foreign show where they just recreated, I assume from pictures and stuff, her deceased like 6-year-old or 7-year-old daughter, and she was like crying, like trying to like hug her in VR.
Does that help with
And
like the healing process or hurt it?
I was watching. I was thinking like, I assume she wanted this, and they didn't just make it and be like, look.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's no. What good would come of that?
Yeah.
You're not like
not really
you're not
good.
letting go enough.
It's not a really good coping mechanism.
No, and it was really sad, and it was one of the few videos that I've just not finished because I was like, this is too sad to watch. It was tragic.
Has everyone watched Watchmen on HBO?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I'm on episode 4,
Okay.
so don't spoil anything.
Just talk to me.
There's a moment. It's not a spoiler or anything, but there's a moment where when you first meet Lady True, when she brings out a baby, like,
Yeah.
look, we made a baby for you.
Yep.
And they're like, really? What if we don't want the baby? She's like, well, it'll be destroyed.
Yeah.
It's like, what? She's like, I'm just kidding. I love that whole
It's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those. Like, I'm a billionaire and I can do anything I want.
trillionaire.
Sorry, excuse me.
Trillionaire.
But yeah, just like, yeah, I made a baby for you guys. I'll kill it.
It was awesome. Yeah,
Just
definitely
messing
like
with people.
established her character very quickly.
Yeah.
It's always funny when I'm watching a show and I forget that it's on HBO, and then like a dick appears, and I go like, "Whoa, oh right."
You're like, is that allowed? Can they
Yeah.
do that?
Like I think it was episode 2 or something or maybe 2 with the blue dick
So do you not have
Dicks on my TV.
on
do you
my
not have
TV.
knobs
More
on,
likely than you think.
on like normal cable? There's no knobs.
I don't think on normal
Not
cable.
on normal
No.
cable, no.
Is
We're
there
not.
no watershed? Like after 9, you can show.
Nope.
I don't think
minge and
dicks
tits
ever
and that.
tits.
Nope.
I think you.
I think you can, but no one does it.
Really
Yeah, I think
interesting.
like that's why South Park can curse and things. Like they just don't. Like once it airs after a certain time, it's fine.
Interesting.
I think I don't put things on broadcast. I put things on the internet. I don't fucking know.
The rules are totally different.
Where YouTube is even
We're much
stricter than
more,
television.
In America, we're much more like accepting of violence and grotesque violence than we are sex. Like,
Yeah.
no
Oh, yeah,
sex,
the-
please.
Oh, blow his head off. What was that? A tit?
We can't have our kids watch
Call the
this.
FCC.
Do we censor these on YouTube?
No.
No.
Well, we got to get our shit consistent. Like so many of the
can't
videos
say
I'm in are censored now on YouTube. Not sure when that started happening,
I think
but
it's,
some aren't. Like, what are we doing?
it's because they're shorter, and I think like if it's within the first 10% of the video, if there's a swear word, it gets demonetized.
I don't know. We're putting out shit that's censored all the way through, and it's distracting.
Yeah.
To me.
Well, got to play that game, that YouTube game. YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, but,
Yeah, but
we're
we're
either
not
playing
doing
it or we're not. Like,
yeah, we're not doing it with this
doing?
podcast.
Oh, right.
If Eric was here, I'd be yelling at him, but he's not.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, he's in an airport.
And maybe
Which
it's
one,
because
though?
like we have people who, like I don't know who's responsible for making that decision for the podcast. Would it be me? Would it be Gus? Would it be Eric?
I mean, if we're
it
getting
be
away,
Chris?
if we're getting away without censoring this, we shouldn't be censoring anything on YouTube. Surely.
I wish I could give you an answer.
Well, let's find out. It's a good thought starter.
Yeah.
I never thought about it. I mean, I knew you all were censoring stuff. I never thought about how
I just
we're
don't
not
know what,
doing it here.
I don't know what was the catalyst. Like, did we have a bunch of videos demonetized? And if so, why aren't these demonetized?
I definitely don't pretend to know how YouTube operates or anything. It could be because are we even monetizing these videos because they have sponsors?
These?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm asking a question.
What the fuck are you? Get the fuck out of here. Ruining my podcast.
I don't know.
Are we even monetizing?
I
Maybe
saw-
it's because do we not swear in the first like 5 minutes of the show?
I'm sure we do.
We do.
We don't coordinate not swearing in the first 5 minutes, so I'm sure we have to swear in the first 5. I can't go 5 minutes without swearing, Barbara. Fuck.
I'm gonna time you.
It's really difficult if I have to not curse.
Don't be aware.
Yeah,
of it.
then you think about it too much.
Just go for it. You're on the clock.
I promise.
All right.
I promise to swear at least every 5 minutes.
Let's see if you could go as long not swearing as you have gone not eating meat.
That's impossible. I cannot do that.
4
It's
months.
Impossible Burger.
How long are you? 4 months now?
What is this? Yeah, 4 months.
You see that clip that was posted from an old podcast?
No, which one?
It was about
Is it Gus
it was
criticizing
you
Gus?
making fun of vegans and like Bernie.
I was talking about there was a woman who wanted to prove that vegans could do anything that non-vegans could do, so she wanted to climb Mount Everest.
I do remember that.
And she died. And then
no.
you said maybe she lost oxygen from telling everyone about how she's a vegan.
That's classic Gus. That sounds about right.
I feel like whenever someone's a complete, total, documented hypocrite,
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh, but I find that so funny.
I think it's
Especially
so
when
funny.
I'm the hypocrite too. I'm like, it is amazing how much people can change without realizing.
Yeah, and also like it's not just like you; it's like the world around you changing too.
Yeah.
What's funny is that woman didn't need to do that at all because, like, I mean,
No one was saying that she couldn't.
Yeah, there are so many like athletes that are vegan and like able to perform at a top level and stuff. Like there are football players that are vegan and stuff. So it's like, it's okay.
Yeah. Something with like us, I guess, saying something to the opposite of what we said in the past. Like, yeah, the world changes, opinions change. And also we've been doing this podcast for
11 years.
11 years.
Yeah.
And well, you've been doing this podcast for 11 years.
been a long
I've been
time.
doing it for 8.
I'm just blown away by it. It's not just small things either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's a podcast to me saying, I was watching an Apple keynote and I'm like, God, why do they always list like all the environmental shit? Like who cares? That's not a feature. And now I can't think about anything I care about more than like trying to save the environment.
Yeah.
Not
Ahead
I'm
of
like
the time.
actively doing that. I'm just like, man, it sucks that we're wrecking the planet.
Yeah.
And I care about it so much.
Well, you also like are an adult now.
I was kind of an adult then too.
Well.
That's not really an excuse.
There's some years where you're
He's
legally an
now.
adult,
He's
but
just
not
trying,
really.
He's trying
Yeah.
harder now.
He's trying harder now. Yeah. That's the consensus we came to.
I was like, I don't care if it's got mercury-free case.
Yeah. It's great when people bring up things that you've said on podcasts 8 to 10 years ago and you're like, does your opinion, viewer, not change in 8 to 10 years? Or like, have you not said really dumb shit
I
as
think
a
it's
young
fascinating.
person
I love
versus
it.
now?
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely changed a lot. All for the better.
It makes me want to keep doing this even longer.
Yeah.
Because then they'll become even more extreme.
Oh
yeah,
my
like
God.
30
What are we
years from
talking
now,
about?
like yeah.
Could you believe we cared about the environment?
Yeah, we
That was
saved the
so-
environment like a year
Yeah,
later.
that was so easy to solve.
Speaking of the environment, I forget who it is, some representative in Congress. It was some representative from Michigan, and I think AOC are co-sponsoring a bill it's called the EV Freedom Act, where they want the government to build high-speed electric vehicle chargers all around the country,
I saw something about that, yeah.
which I think is a fucking terrible idea. As the owner of an electric car, I don't want the government building a network of electric vehicle
Do you think
chargers.
it'll be shitty?
I think it'll be shitty and way too expensive.
Interesting.
Like, the government didn't build gas stations all around the country when cars were widely adopted.
It's true.
Well, maybe just incentives would be better then.
I mean, that's what
ma-
Tesla has, and that they've built a whole network of.
Yeah, they built their own network of superchargers. Like, I think
Do you
about...
pay for charging at a supercharger?
Yes. You have a credit card tied to your account, and when you plug in, it automatically...
It's different state by state. Like in Texas, it's only the amount of time you use the electricity.
Because you can't bill per electricity used.
Yep. And in other states, it's how much electricity you use, so it's more expensive.
So in Europe, they had a similar thing to what the U.S. is proposing to do now, where the EU gave a company called Ionity a bunch of money to build fast chargers all around Europe. And Ionity, I'm trying to look up who
Did they horribly botch it?
it was. Ionity was like a joint venture between a bunch of different car manufacturers. It was a venture between BMW, Daimler, Ford, Hyundai, Kia, and the VW Group. They built it.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, they built it. It works fine, but then after they built it, they increased the rates by 500%. Like it's ridiculous to try. It's ridiculously expensive to try to charge your vehicle on that network. Like I looked it up here.
That's the flip side of it, though.
Right. It's like if you had, they give an example here in this article that I looked up about it. Where is it? If you wanted to fill, like let's say you had, Corey, what the fuck is it?
Oh, you swore right as the 5 minute was about to come.
Oh my god!
I watched it go down. It was like 2-1, and he said the F word right at 1 second. That was incredible.
So if you wanted to,
Every 5 minutes.
It's got a great internal clock.
the example they gave is if you had an Audi e-tron and you tried to fill it up with electricity, if you put 80 kilowatt hours into it, you would pay 63 euros to do that to get 160 miles of range.
That is insane.
That is way more expensive than gasoline.
That is, yeah. That's why. Whoa.
I mean, is that to
And that's not a lot of range.
like expedite the rest of the infrastructure, and then it goes down again, or are they just
like
ripping people
subsidizing-
off?
no, they
the expansion. They built the whole
they
thing.
built
though.
it and then they changed
And then they charged.
and then they changed the way they were billing.
Are they trying to recoup their costs?
Mental.
Who fucking knows?
Mental.
But
It's that's stupid.
that's one of the times I say let private industry deal with it. There's already a lot of chargers everywhere. As I don't know what your experience is. You also have an electric
Do
vehicle.
you feel like there are enough?
I don't ever worry about it.
Okay.
I charge my
I've
car
never
at
And
home
that's kind of telling.
every night,
Yeah.
right? And it's like if I'm on a road trip, I'll look and I'll see like I'm going to stop there.
It tells you where to go.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really not a big deal. I think before I had an electric vehicle, when I had a gas powered vehicle, it's something I thought about a lot. Like, oh, I'm gonna have to charge. It's
Yeah.
gonna be weird. It's gonna be inconvenient. It's really a non-issue. Totally a non-issue.
I'm mad.
Why are you mad?
How come this?
No,
Why
go
you
ahead. Okay. I was reading the chat while you guys were talking.
Oh, that's a good way to get mad.
They pissed you off?
And so, I know I shouldn't call out one person, but someone in the chat said Barb gets incredibly defensive over nothing.
What does that mean?
I think it's because I was bringing up the thing of getting upset when people call you out on things you've said 10 years ago.
That's
I
not
get
nothing.
defensive about it because I'm reminded every day via social media of things I've said between 7 to 10 years ago that my opinions have changed on. And you get reminded of it constantly and are constantly being called out for things.
Why are you getting so defensive?
And I realize the irony of me getting defensive about this, but it's just
Person
like
said I'm defensive. Here's why they're wrong.
here's why I'm more defensive over that. And like I understand I'm very defensive over it, but it's only because like I'm trying to explain the position that
Yeah.
we're in, where like all of what we've said, all
If
these
anything,
podcasts,
you're being more defensive about this than you were about the other thing.
Exactly.
So it's like there was
we've had
nothing to
years.
complain about.
We talk for 2 hours once a week for 10 years. The years keep changing also.
100 years. Who
Like
knows?
you're gonna say dumb shit and people will just bring up things that you've said over and over again. And it just like it becomes a little bit
It's like-
frustrating when you can't like
It's
defend
just like
yourself.
it's also like taking. This is definitely happening before. Like taking bits and pieces out of context.
Yeah.
right.
out of context, and then like trying to like have a gotcha thing.
Like
or
I still
something.
constantly get people on Twitter just being like, I guess I shouldn't have a Twitter because I don't have 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
Every fucking day I get tweeted that. And I said that in 2011.
Oh my God! Really?
Like
that was 9 years
But
ago.
it also wasn't even in like, that's not even what I said. There was a whole conversation about it. Anyways, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't
Nobody
stand by
did
what
bring
I
it up.
said anymore.
It was 2012.
2012. I'm sorry.
8 years.
It's still a long time ago.
8 years ago.
100 years ago. Who knows?
So that's why I'm defensive over it.
I think it's. I mean, I've started to enjoy it. I think it's fun to make fun of. It's the easiest person to make fun of is yourself.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
The easiest person to make fun of is you.
It's Gavin. I agree. I agree. It's Gavin.
So can we pull up that thing, Brian? Do you have it there?
We got a thing.
Eric sent it.
the carpet.
Am I supposed to guess?
I'm just letting you know. That's the carpet of the airport Eric was at.
Got some blue and gray.
That one's about a 3 out of 10.
He said you'd give it a 2. I'm gonna tell him right now.
Oh, so you rate them?
Yeah.
But where do you think that is?
A 3 out of 10.
No, where?
Where?
Oh, where do I think it is?
That's got to be.
I
That's
would guess
got to be
LAX.
Dallas Gate C23.
I don't know. I haven't been to Dallas, or I've been to Dallas, but I haven't taken a picture there. So it's not San Francisco. It's not San Diego. Could be LAX.
I'm guessing LAX.
I once had so much time at Austin Airport because the flight got delayed that I sat at every gate to find out which one was the coldest.
Which
Yeah.
one was it?
Cool.
Which year was it?
It was like
12?
8 because it was around the time they were building that new security.
But now it's 15.
Right, they changed all the numbers, so I'm confused.
Speaking of rating stuff, have you guys listened to Face Jam?
What's that?
It's a really good
What's
podcast. It's a really good podcast. You guys should check it out.
Watch this. I'm gonna do the Face Jam challenge. Hey Blaine, have you downloaded Face Jam?
Yes, I have.
That was me doing the face challenge too. We just got 2 in a row.
I was going to go off of something that Barbara was talking about.
What?
In relation to people pulling things out of context.
I was talking about Face Jam.
Yeah, we're talking about Face Jam now.
Okay, well, I'll just...
Talk about how
Bring
it's
it
your
back.
podcast.
I can go. It's fine.
Go ahead.
But anyways, I know I had a there's a gay athlete's Instagram account that pulled a supercut of all of the weird erotic things that I've done in the past, 5 years of employment at Rooster Teeth. And then they cut up this like super cut of me doing shit, and I got a bunch of like dude followers from it. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna take the counterpoint of your argument and say pull stuff from the past.
Sometimes it works.
Yeah, because I got a bunch of these nice followers. And
as long as it's not used with malicious intent, yeah.
I mean, there's like a lot of stuff like out of context things of me sticking things down my mouth.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like this will get pulled into a video
that's
years from
funny.
now, and then I'm gonna get more.
Look how
followers
funny
from
that
it.
is.
So
That's comedy.
Hilarious.
Comedy.
also, please watch Good Morning from Hell.
I was on this week's episode
no,
of
we're
Good Morning.
talking about
I
Face
thought
Jam.
that's why you were there. Was talk about Good Morning from Hell.
Well, yeah, I wanted to steal
God.
Jordan's thunder from Face Jam and talk about Good Morning from
We'll
Hell.
talk about Face Jam in a second. We'll go
Where
back
are the
to Face
shirts
Jam.
That is hell right there.
No, that's sexy. See, so they can pull that and then they can put that in the
You guys know it's an
supercut.
audio podcast, right?
We just want to be comfortable.
This is a good reason for people to watch the video version.
Where even is that?
To show the
It's
picture.
hell. The room is hot.
The old AH office.
Yeah.
I played Cupid in a Valentine's Day episode.
It's cold in that
Good Morning
room.
from Hell. You couldn't tell?
No, I couldn't. I didn't look at your nipples, Gus, but it's fucking
Can we see it again?
Now that'll get demonetized.
Once every 5 minutes, Gus gets a nipple out.
Yeah.
Thanks, Blaine.
Yeah.
Good Morning from Hell.
Looks
Available
pretty
now
cool.
wherever you listen to podcasts.
Oh, yeah, you played Cupid.
I did.
For a special
good.
Valentine's
it was
Day.
fun. It was really fun to do. So Face Jam. What do you do in Face Jam? What the fuck is Face Jam?
It's a new podcast, relatively new podcast, where me and Michael Jones of Achievement Hunter fame go to fast food restaurants and we try their limited run new food stuff and we eat it and review it.
You should have called it the Michael Jordan podcast.
Believe me, we tried. Boy, did we. We had a logo and everything. It looked great. And it was not confusing at all. I don't care what legal says. There was a comma there. And then we talk, and then you can hear Nick laughing off screen. We rate the food on a scale of 1 to 100, and Michael loves fast food and eating like shit, and I have not eaten fast food regularly in like 10 years, so I always hate it. And then we give an average score, so it's usually around the 60 range. So
what
because
was-
I rate it really
Yours
low,
is low.
he rates it really high.
What's your highest rated one that you've done so far?
It was actually the pilot one we did, where I wasn't expecting Michael to rate it like a 96. So
What'd you eat?
I rated it pretty high. It was a Little Caesars Quattro pizza, which it was a pizza that had 4 different toppings on it, like in sections. So it was like 2 slices had pepperoni.
Oh.
This one had pepperoni and mushroom. This one had like
Are they predetermined?
cheese. Yeah, you don't get to like pick them or
Did you
anything.
guys try the Cheez-Its pizza?
No,
That stuff was god awful.
I'm
Be careful.
curious.
In 10 years, you're going to love that pizza.
It's like the only pizza you can get in America will be cheese.
Pizza, aka
So-
sodium bath.
For the first couple of episodes, Michael loved everything. So like I picked one that I thought he would hate, but it just turned into an episode where we were miserable, so it wasn't really worth it.
There's something I want to try that I saw on the internet. It's pickles dipped, like dusted in crushed up flaming hot Cheetos. And apparently
Nah.
it's really good, but I can't in my like I like both those things separately, but I can't in my mind picture that being good.
Could we do that now?
I don't don't think we have pickles.
Yeah.
But we definitely have flaming hot Cheetos.
We should find out.
We have pickles on the
Listen, Blaine,
sandwiches.
he's gone.
He's gone.
I mean, someone must have ordered a lunch today and didn't eat.
There's pickles on those. On
But I
those
assume
sandwiches
you
there.
mean like
There
a
are pickles
spear
on
or
the
like a big pickle, not just like slices.
Like how
of
you get
pickles.
fried pickles. So it'd be like those.
Yeah, like a spear.
Essentially, instead of like the batter, it's the Cheetos.
Ugh.
So it's spear. But you could probably do it with like pickled chips.
You could.
Like the round sliced ones.
Are there pickles on the sandwiches?
Yeah.
All right, let's get some pickles and we'll smash up some. No one move.
I could go do it.
Yeah, go do it.
Okay, I'm gonna go do it.
All right.
So I'm going to step back. Well, I'm going to vamp while she's doing that. So we were talking about the Austin airport earlier. I read that in 2018, the Austin airport had the 8th most firearms seized by the TSA of any airport in the United States.
We can make that higher. I think we can do better than that.
They seized,
And are these people who don't realize they're
I don't
got
know.
a gun on them?
Yeah, I wish. I
I'll
wish.
take a gun on a
It was
plane.
93
I wish the
people.
protocol.
93.
And that was the 8th most in the United States.
I wish the protocol was for them to like, they clearly report whenever they have to confiscate a gun. I wish there was a mandatory follow-up where it was like, did you think you could get away with this? Did you not know this was a rule? Did you think you could do this? Like, I want the reasoning behind it.
Or like if this is terrible. Obviously, they shouldn't do this for real. But it's like if you're found at the security checkpoint and you have a gun, you have to point it at your foot and pull the trigger. If it's not loaded, you're fine.
Yeah.
But if it's loaded, you're fucked.
Talk about shooting yourself in the foot.
I mean, I've absolutely traveled with stuff that I didn't know was in my case.
But not a
it's
gun.
and also nothing that broke the law. But it's just like,
like that-
shit, I didn't know that was in there.
It's like that time Matt had 2 knives in his bag. They pulled out one knife, put the bag through again. It beeped, and then they pulled out another knife.
But yeah, something about not knowing you have a gun on you is so scary.
How did
to
that
me.
get in there?
Oh, whoops! I was wondering where that was.
Is it because they have so many guns, or
It has to be, right? I mean, it's Texas.
Did they just
so-
forget that they just take their gun with them everywhere? Wasn't like the top 10, weren't there 3 Texas airports in the top 10?
yeah, I think Dallas, Houston, and Austin were all in the top 10.
That's
Perfect.
That's crazy.
What was number 1?
I think it was Atlanta. I'm gonna see if I can load it up here, but I'm pretty sure it was Atlanta.
that one? Atlanta's the busiest airport, right?
Yes.
So is that one just by sheer volume and like they're more likely to have more guns, or is it because it's also in the South and more people might have more guns?
I think most of them were in the South, weren't they?
Yeah. Because I don't even think Chicago, which is like the second busiest airport, was even in the top 10.
Have you ever been to Singapore?
No.
So on the little customs card that you get on the plane to fill out.
Oh,
Do they ask you something weird?
No, it just, you got all the stuff like address and all that stuff, but in big fat red letters in all caps, it says death to drug traffickers. Like if you bring drugs there and get caught, they'll kill you. And I was there as a person who has nothing to do with drugs, wondering like, shit, do I like
Just
somehow have drugs
Someone
on
put
me?
drugs on you.
You better make sure.
So Atlanta had 323 guns.
That is a lot. That's almost one every day.
The top 5 are Atlanta, DFW, Denver, Houston, and Phoenix.
Now, Math Whiz, we need to proportionally check to see if the rate of people going through those airports is equal to the increase of guns, 93 to 323.
Let's
You crunch those numbers real quick. And
Speaking of crunch, I just crunched up some
I feel
Cheetos.
like the crunch needs to be finer though.
I tried. It probably does need to be finer. So
Oh, where's the bottom of that bin? Right there.
this is regular
3.5.
regular Cheetos, and we don't have regular flaming hot Cheetos. We have the baked ones. So I
That's
got
just as good.
the
healthier.
regular ones and the baked ones. So I don't know.
This is going to sound great on the microphone. Barbara is taking a slice of a pickle.
Do you-
Where'd you
do
get
you
the slice
wanna-
of a pickle from?
Do you want to have one without anything, just as like a benchmark?
I know what pickles taste like.
Okay, good.
okay. I think she knows.
These pickles are from the chicken sandwiches.
But what I mean
so they might
is
kind of have a chicken
there might
flavor.
be some hints of chicken on there that you need to calibrate with.
Well, I don't think she's going to think the chicken flavor came from the hot Cheetos.
Jordan, stop being so logical and rational.
I don't think Barbara's dumb.
It really just tastes like pickle. I think
So you just get it for the texture. Oh,
it's not bad.
some spice at the end?
You want to try some?
Hell no.
You won't even try it?
No.
I
You're like the
prepared
food
all
guy.
of this for all of us.
I'm not the food guy.
You're the food testing
I'm gonna try a better
annoyed guy.
annoyed guy.
Gavin, do you
Yeah,
wanna
I'm
try
annoyed
one?
by this. I'm not eating it.
No,
Yeah.
I hate pickles.
So
You're
am
the
I just
food
making
guy.
this for myself? Gus, would you like to try one?
I would, but I can't. Those have cheese on them.
God damn it, Chris! You want to come try
Is
one
it real cheese?
Yeah.
on the Cheetos?
Yeah, it's got like
All right,
milk
Barbara, I'll try
proteins
one.
and stuff.
You don't have to.
What about
All right, do you want-
pickles?
I just
you
feel bad
offered
about
food
it.
and Chris magically appeared.
Yeah, Chris, do you want
He's
some?
always just around
He's
looking
a little
for food.
fucking snack.
Bro, you look like Gollum.
He's a snack
He runs like
gremlin.
a slug.
He's a fucking snack gremlin.
So like cover
Anytime
it up.
like there's a snack in the air or like in the vicinity,
Open
Chris
up the
like
camera. You know?
It looks like he's just been caught with his hands in the
he's a
cookie
little
jar.
raccoon.
Oh, good crunch. You probably can't hear that, but that really was a loud
solid.
crunch.
It's pretty good. Yeah. It's not bad.
You gonna try regular Cheetos?
But like, I feel like, yeah, as you said, pickle spears is probably what you're supposed to do when they're nice and not covered in chicken goop.
Gus, you're from Texas.
I am.
Is Frito
Spicy.
pie a staple of
Spicy.
your
Absolutely.
cuisine?
I've made some vegan Frito pie. Fritos are vegan.
Thank you, Chris.
What is the
I guess
meat
it makes sense. They're just corn.
on a Frito pie? Is it just
It's
like
just
ground
chili,
beef?
chili and
Yeah.
Fritos, right?
Yeah, so I just find like a chili with no meat in it.
I've never had a Frito pie.
You've never had a Frito pie?
I would say it's incredibly overrated.
Probably, yeah.
I mean,
But it's also
Fritos, chili, and
kinda
cheese
great.
and onions.
Yeah, but none of that stuff is overly good.
what are you talking about?
But
Fritos are
together,
amazing.
though,
Fritos.
pretty good.
It's like all of us individually, we're not very good. So put together,
We're
it's
even
a podcast.
worse.
We're a Frito pie.
We bring each other down.
If we were a Frito pie, what would each of our ingredients be?
I want to be the Frito.
You're the Frito.
Yeah.
I'll be the meat.
All right.
Gus, you're the Frito. I'm the meat.
I'll
You're-
be the bean.
The bean you put in the Frito pie.
Is there no beans?
They're beans. There's not
Jordan.
a bean.
Jordan, you'd be the cheese.
I guess I'm the cheese.
You'd be the sour cream
Someone could be an onion too if they want.
because you're sour.
No sour cream in a Frito pie.
Can't you like top it
No, fuck that.
like
Oh, fuck.
like a chili?
Blah.
I like sour cream.
Which part of the poutine would you be?
Oh, the gravy, obviously.
I'm definitely the curd.
Why is that? You got a Kurdish tendency?
It's all gravy, baby.
One
Poutine's so
time
good.
I got there's a well-known restaurant chain in Southern California called The Hat.
Nice
And they're
comment,
really
like
known
that.
for their chili cheese fries. And I went there one time and took a picture of it, posted on Twitter, and I could tell which people replying were the Canadians because they were like, "This is the weirdest poutine I've ever seen." I was like, I would not even consider this in the family of poutine, but I guess technically
Yeah, you got
just
the
it's-
components.
it's a
Just a
thing on
cousin.
fries.
You're not
Yeah.
a fan of the Haymaker poutine, right?
It's
does that
not that I'm
rank?
not a fan of it. It's just very much like a restaurant trying to recreate
Trying to do
poutine,
poutine.
In a way where it's like they don't quite have the ingredients right to make it taste like proper poutine.
I feel like that
Interesting.
happens a lot where it's like, oh, here's like a Texas take on India
Yeah,
or whatever.
It's
But
just, it's just like Texas ruining the thing.
but
Yeah.
why don't they just use the exact stuff? Like, how hard is it to make poutine? Like
Right.
Canadian proper.
You just need the cheese curds, you
That-
need brown gravy, and the French fries also it tends to make a difference.
Your argument or like your complaint is like the underlying thing of like my issues with Tex-Mex. Of like at the base it's Mexican food, which I love. And then on top of it is all this
all the
Texas
shit, yeah.
this Texas shit. It's like you ruined it.
No, I agree. I do not like
I was
Tex-Mex food.
baffled by the amount of cheese in this state. Like
but not curds.
Not curds.
Not a curd to be found.
Usually
How much
melted
cheese has been confiscated at airports?
Probably not a lot because I think you're allowed to bring cheese unless it's liquid cheese.
I mean, you can't bring cheese into the country. I can't travel with cheese.
that's true.
Why not?
And you're not
it'd
supposed to bring food
It'd
in.
be international flights, and it would be liquid cheese over 2.8 fluid ounces, or whatever it is.
What if you melted your cheese, put it in like shampoo, like little mini shampoo bottles, like the ones you're alled to take,
Oh, this
and
guy's
then
trafficking. Well, then the cheese dog comes
unmelted.
by,
You
sniffs
hardened
out.
it when
The
you get
cheese dog. 16 pounds.
Nearly 16 pounds of prohibited cheese wrapped in animal skins seized at Philadelphia International Airport.
Is that because of the animal skins or because of the cheese?
I'm gonna find out now. I've only read the headline.
We've got a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like animal skins alone would be confiscated. You can't bring in animal products, can you?
I don't think so. Not internationally.
The
Yeah,
skins
definitely not.
and cheese were prohibited without veterinary certification due to the skins being a potential carrier of
I hit a
animal
bunch of
diseases.
weed and Coke bricks, and I didn't get away with it.
Pretty
A
much.
bunch of weed and Coke bricks.
Pretty much.
I think
weird.
a lot of people too don't realize that the dogs at airports, the sniffing dogs, are for bombs, not for drugs.
Well, they're for whatever they're trained for.
They vary, yeah.
I think it's usually for bombs. Though.
Unless you go to Hawaii, then they're sniffing for produce there.
They're sniffing
Oh,
for produce,
interesting.
and then
There's money
in
dogs?
in New Zealand. They're sniffing for like fruit.
Yeah,
and stuff,
which is
like-
also produce.
Well, I mean, like it's something more specific than just produce.
And I bet there's one dog that's just sniffing for dog food. Like it's just a hungry dog.
Just a good
Gavin.
boy.
Do you need help, Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones in Hawaii, they're like little beagles.
Yeah.
They're
Did you
cute.
see, speaking of dogs, did you see Meryl's new dog?
I heard her talking about it, but I haven't seen it.
Oh my God.
Describe it.
It is like 7 weeks old. It's a mini dachshund, a long-haired dachshund. It's probably the size of a hot dog. Like it's literally this big, and it is the cutest, most sweetest thing in the world.
Oh.
I wish I have pictures.
Why isn't it here right now?
I don't know.
Yeah, I need to see it.
And her name is Oatmeal, and they call her Odie. And
That makes me think of Garfield, and now I'm sad.
Cute.
Yeah.
Aw.
I don't know if that's
I'm
intentional
more of a
or not.
Heathcliff man myself.
If you lost one of your pets, would you want to see it in VR?
Like that lady did with
Yeah.
her daughter. That is slightly
I think that is a little bit different, actually.
Well, I thought about it a little bit more, and also like you're really not moving on as well. It's like
Plus, also, like, you're going to see other dogs that probably look like your dog.
yeah. Who's the lady who cloned her dog?
It was Barbara Streisand, wasn't it?
Yeah, Barbara Streisand. Yeah, she just has the same dog over and over.
Does she have an EGOT?
I don't think so. Are you sending me something?
I'm trying to, yeah.
All right, sorry, I'm going to accept.
Um,
It didn't automatically come through for some reason.
Oh,
I
weird.
probably wouldn't do it.
A lot of people saying that Mexicans bring cheese to the US all the time.
Oh,
Maybe it's from like a European thing. I know that I can't travel with food.
you should try it.
I can travel with chocolate, I think. That's about it.
I think, well, that's sold at those duty-free shops, right?
Well, I mean, anything duty free you can travel with because it's
Duty-free.
Yeah.
Duty free.
duty.
Let's see. Barbara Streisand, EGOT.
Yes or no?
No, she has won a special Tony Award in 1970, but it's a non-competitive award, so it's not considered
Interesting.
actually EGOT.
But she has an ego?
Yeah, she definitely has ego.
For sure.
From what I've heard from people working with her, oh yeah.
Oh my God.
I just sent Gus a video of this dog.
Was she weighing the dog? What's happening here?
We're weighing it.
I'm sending this over to broadcast.
I think
Thank
it weighed 2 pounds, 6 ounces maybe,
Oh my god, that's tiny.
or something like that. I also have photos if that's easier.
Well, it's
A lot of
transferring
bean
now.
discourse going on in the chat.
A lot of what discourse?
Bean.
Oh yeah, beans do not belong in chili.
100%.
I'm telling you right now.
What do you mean they don't belong in
100%.
chili?
I like beans.
Meg might be the most anti-bean in chili person I know.
I don't eat a lot. I mean,
And you're over here going, why don't they belong in chili? Have you not been indoctrinated at home by now?
we don't have a lot of chili, but I feel like all chili I've had has had beans in it.
Well, you've had shitty
Garbage.
chili.
So what is
Imagine
it, just beef? What's in the chili?
pretty much, yeah.
Beef and onions?
Chili?
Here's some more
What's the
photos for
chili?
you, Gus.
Chili powder?
I'm sending Gus stuff via airdrop.
Hurry up, I need to see this. I can't vamp. It's all I can think
I'm
about.
getting it, and then I got to send it back over there.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
You're
don't
like
worry,
the middleman. You're like
It'll
the
be
Dunder
worth it.
Mifflin.
It'll be worth it.
In the
Jordan.
meantime, I realized that I haven't sold anything on eBay for over a decade.
Wow.
And I just haven't done it because I guess I have space to keep shit, but I don't want stuff. So I thought I'm going to sell some stuff on eBay.
You should be using Mercari.
You should.
Wait, they're not a sponsor of this episode.
well,
Is that
then
like
you
a
should
sell
be.
shit? Because
Yeah.
using eBay is like using the internet in 2004. Like that, it's not any easier.
Just use
To sell shit on
use the
eBay.
classifieds on Slack.
I
That's
like
where I sell all my stuff.
beans.
Classifieds.
Yeah,
on
there's
Slack.
a Slack channel called Classifieds, and
There
people
is?
just put up their old shit.
Why don't
And
you think?
I've sold laptops. I've sold.
Yo, are you serious? Well, I
I've
mean,
sold animation cells.
Oh yeah, use the classifieds.
but
Yeah.
do you have to like? Do they know it's you,
Yeah.
or is it anonymous?
No, it's our
It's
company
everyone
messaging
here-
system, so
here.
they know. It's like another Slack channel.
At work. I thought it was like,
Wait, you think, like, how do random people find you on
They know
Slack?
it's
Yeah.
you.
Well, if you think about it, it's like 400 people.
oh well,
So,
I don't
like,
want to sell my shit to people here.
Why?
Use Mercari. Use promo code Rooster.
But why?
Because he's selling his like dildos and stuff.
Yeah, it's all used.
I bought a camera from someone off that classifieds Slack.
How do
It
I
was
get in
great.
on this
Yeah.
I'm
Slack?
going to join it right now. You said, what's
just
it called? Classifieds?
Just
Classifieds.
classifieds.
Hashtag
Here, give me your
classifieds.
phone. I'll do it for you.
Wait, you can. How does? How do you use Slack?
If
All
you
right,
could search
Grandpa, here.
channels,
Wait, I tried to create. How do you find it?
No, don't
you
create it.
go to the channels, and then I think if you do a
Classifieds
plus,
2 just pops up.
Do a what?
there's like a little plus sign, I think, by channels.
Yep.
That's what I hit, and it did create channel.
That's the one you want.
Oh, maybe you just click on.
And then join channel. So if you search for it, you can join
Oh
channel.
my god!
There you are. Look
Look at all this shit. How long has this been going
There
on?
it is. Yeah.
How long has this been a thing?
Quite a while.
Probably at least 3 or 4 years.
Thank you, Michael.
Probably ever since we got Slack.
Did I join it? Oh yeah, I joined it.
Who's got the Connect for Girl Scout cookies? What's happening in here?
Somebody wants Girl Scout cookies. Some posters.
Sarah's now sending question marks.
Oh, probably because it's a bunch of people just join. You guys just joined.
Maybe Sarah wants to buy what you're selling.
Where is it, Gavin?
Gavin Free join classifieds along with Gustavo Sorolla. She's probably like, what?
I'm just gonna type. Whoa!
It's a whole new world.
Yeah, there's like people selling computers and shelves and like artwork.
I feel like what I want
games.
is I want to sell to total strangers who don't know that it's me selling it.
Mercari.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're not a sponsor of this episode. I don't think.
The Slack classifieds works for that first part because you don't know anyone else who works here, but they
know
will
at
know
least-
it's you.
At least 9% of people who work here.
So
Oh,
20
the
to
stuff's
30
coming
people.
through.
Oh, it's so slow though.
Oh my God.
It looks great.
Why is it in a bowl?
VLC, use QuickTime, dude. You're on a fucking Mac.
Oh, jeez.
What was that?
VLC.
VLC.
Look. I also, sent you photos and stuff in case.
Well, I sent them the photos too, I think.
Okay, cool. But that video is just so great. The thing I've realized, whenever someone has a tiny cat or dog or any pet, no photo or video will ever do justice to it.
To how small it
To
is?
how small it is. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot... Like, that dog looks small. It looks smaller in person.
That's fucking adorable, and there's also a dog.
Andrew,
nice.
Andrew could fit that dog's head in his mouth.
Yeah. Like, you pick it
Yeah?
up like this.
Like
you
with this
One-handed?
one in
Yeah.
like cupped hand.
And it's so
My-
cute.
That's what my cats were like.
Look
when
how
we first
small
got
it
them.
is.
They were so small.
Your
Look,
cats
she
are
was
cute
sleeping on my arm.
AF.
Thank you.
What'd you say? 2 pounds?
2 pounds, like 2 pounds 6 ounces or something like that. I forget what it was, but
They're still
very
pretty
small.
cute though.
It's pretty adorable. Oh, it's like smaller than your. Is that your foot?
That's
your
my foot, yeah. And I'm a
Smaller than your
size
foot.
7 foot, so I got small feet.
That is so tiny.
I know.
How big is that dog gonna get?
Not very big. It's a mini or whatever they're called, the mini dachshunds.
People,
Muriel should be talking about it. It's her dog, but
people in chat are asking for the dog. You haven't
Give
gotten
us
there.
the
The dog is
dog.
coming.
Yeah.
It'll be here
They're
soon.
chanting.
although I really wish you could see that video because that's the cutest one.
So I saw something the other day that it got me thinking. So I don't remember what podcast it was. I don't remember if it was last podcast. Or I think maybe it was the one before. I talked about how Pusha T had written the McDonald's jingle, and then he had also written the Arby's jingle.
Yeah.
And then
But
I saw it. I saw that posted in Today I Learned on Reddit.
Oh.
And then, like, if you go through the comments, like, far enough down, the guy's like, yeah, I listened to the Rooster Teeth podcast, and they just talked about this
Oh, really?
in the episode I listened to.
So he's
But it's
getting
like,
all our karma.
Yeah.
I had read that on Reddit. I said it on this
So it's
podcast.
like a cycle.
And then someone had taken that and then reposted it to Reddit.
Hey, sounds like that's what Reddit does.
Yeah, and it wasn't that long ago. Like, I think I'd read it on Reddit like 2 or 3 days before I talked about it here. So like within a week, and it was like it was a popular Today I Learned. It had gotten up to the
If
front
you have
page.
seen Today I Learned about my cousin Vinny being used in like law school for like examples of good like expert witness. If you've seen that more than like 2 or 3 times, you've been on Reddit for too long.
Yeah.
Because I have seen it so many times over the last like 8 years or so.
Do you check Reddit every day?
Yeah.
I definitely do.
Just it's one of those like, you know, like got some downtime, let's see what's going on Reddit.
Got some subreddits to read.
Yeah.
But there was a discussion in there in that do we have dog video? I see dog video in my monitor. It's in my monitor. I don't know if that matters. Okay, don't look there.
Don't look at it.
Well, I'm looking at it. What?
Stop. It's the Ark of the Covenant.
But
It's the best dog.
I'm gonna hold off on my next point because I feel like is the dog video
The dog
imminent?
is imminent.
There it is.
Look at her.
The dog is
so
in a bowl
small.
on a scale. Is this when you're weighing it? I assume.
Yeah. Look at
Oh my god.
That's a good looking dog.
Isn't it? And she's so like
She's so
camera aware, which
yeah,
is nice
she's
too.
fluffy. Like just fluffy enough.
Just fluffy enough.
Oh,
That's-
I'm trying to
that's
get
so
out.
Look,
cute.
look how small. Just. Of course, John's holding the dog.
Oh my god. How do I gain access to this dog?
So we have to set up a heist to steal Mariel's dog.
We need to get like a
No.
webcam.
Yes, cute
that's
heist.
just this dog.
Cute heist. We're
Cute
gonna steal
heist
the cute.
2020.
Don't give Achievement Hunter any ideas. It's their turn now to get us back since we threw that carnival for them.
Yeah, but that looked awesome. How was that bad?
It's not bad.
You got pranked.
Here's the thing. Here's a bone I have to pick with the internet.
Okay.
We put out that video of us throwing Achievement Hunter a carnival in their office, and we call it like Achievement Hunter Carnival Prank.
I don't know. It sounds like you're getting really defensive.
I am getting defensive. You're correct, Gavin. But to me, a prank is not always necessarily mean.
I agree.
Yeah.
I do pranks a lot, but I never want there to be any like
Yeah. And
all the pranks I do on Dan, I think are wholesome.
wholesome pranks.
Yeah, the thing I used to do where I would jump into your arms when I saw you at a party. That's like that's a nice wholesome prank.
And
But you don't do it anymore.
All the comments are just
don't
like,
see you
"Oh,
anymore."
Rooster Teeth needs to learn what a prank means,"
Yeah.
and it's like it's not like we did it without them knowing, and
It's still a prank.
it's a prank
just not-
because
yeah.
it's just like
it doesn't have to be mean-spirited or
right, like
Yeah.
clean their
Actually,
office without them knowing what
I'm
a
a
prank.
stickler, and this
I
would
agree.
not be certified by
Pranks should be
International
enjoyed.
Prank Protocol.
By both sides.
Yeah,
I think so too,
In my opinion.
because no one wants to do anything that's actually going to be like spiteful or mean.
I mean, we've
That-
done stuff
that-
to Jeremy which he didn't enjoy, like his table
That was fucking
put
funny
on the
though.
floor or up
Oh,
in the ceiling.
The ceiling
Right.
was what I
But
was
that
thinking
doesn't-
about.
I don't think he was overly fond of either of them,
doesn't
but at
hurt
least they were
anyone.
that's
kind of
probably
harmless.
what they have in
Yeah.
mind when they hear prank, which I
Yeah.
understand. But like to me, that's still a prank video because it's something that we did without your guys' knowledge.
Yeah.
And it was a slight inconvenience to your day.
yeah. You went back to go to work, and then a carnival happened.
I love how they're like, "Oh, we have rats in here. There might be poison on the floor still." Like,
Yeah.
totally oblivious to the misdirection.
Yeah. Yeah, we had Jeff tell all of Achievement Hunter that their office was being fumigated in the morning, so they wouldn't come in while we were setting up.
Ah, clever.
So a bunch of people were just like, "Isn't there like fumigation in here? Like we're getting rid of the rats." And we're like, "That was a lie."
Like one of the first ones, I think the first shenanigans is that they changed Ryan's gamer tag, but didn't actually, or they
Yeah.
like saved it.
Yeah.
I hate that video. I can't like Ryan. It's like it's too real. Like Ryan is genuinely annoyed and like bewildered that we would have done
Like
it,
when-
and
like
it
when-
makes me so uncomfortable watching that.
Like when Jack thought his phone number had been like called out at
yeah.
RTX.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like
Like that's just mean.
that. They're not even too bad. It's just like
Yeah, it's borderline.
yeah.
So,
But check out the video. It was really fun. And
really
I
fun.
think
You should absolutely watch
You
it.
guys would really love it.
Got slightly distracted. I want to go back to what I was talking about before the dog.
Please.
So I was talking about how someone had reposted that
Right.
the Pusha T
and-
thing, writing the McDonald's and the Arby's jingles. So then I went down and I found the guy who said that, oh, yeah, listen to our Rooster Teeth podcast. And there were people going back and forth talking about the podcast.
Nice.
And
Get the word out.
someone commented, and I read stuff like this every now and then. So I want to finally say something about it. Someone commented that they didn't find the podcast relatable because we always talk about flying somewhere or doing something and this and that. And it's something, we've been doing the podcast we talked about for 11 years now. And it's something that I thought about a lot when we first started doing the podcast. It's like, how do you frame it, right? Do you frame it as, you want to be relatable and, just, seem like just like anybody else? But instead, I always thought of it as like a peek behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's what I always loved
right.
about
It's like
it.
we know that we don't live very normal lives. Like this is a very weird career to have. It's a very weird job
Yes.
to have. And I always felt it was like we were inviting listeners and viewers to like take that journey with us,
Yep.
right? Like these aren't experiences that not necessarily everybody can have.
Right.
Like who gets to go and like I filmed a video last year with Jeff and an NBA player. It's like, that's fucking weird. Like, of course I'm going to talk
Where
about
else are you
that.
going to talk about it?
Right. It's like, it's kind of like inviting people who are listening and watching to like take part in that journey with us. And I think this might be like the only podcast that exists like that. For 11 years, you've watched like an internet content creation company grow. Like when we started this, we were in the Congress office.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you've watched it grow from a really small group of people to something really fucking huge.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
Good point.
That's all documented. Like you could go back and listen to our fucking thoughts for 11 years as that was happening.
Yeah, like was the podcast ever relatable?
Right. It's like at first,
Yeah.
maybe we kind of.
Maybe a
You
little.
guys talked
Tried,
about
yeah.
Lost all the time in like the first year, and I never watched Lost, so I didn't find that
So that was
relatable.
the most
Yeah.
unrelatable content.
Yeah, but I still listened to it because I was like, I liked hearing you guys talk about it. It was like I was hanging out with you guys,
Right.
And this was before I worked here. So
Yeah.
when I was just a fan, that's what I always liked is like hearing about what's going on in the office and like the dumb shit going on and like the things people are mad about.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that maybe this is the best way to approach it. That's just the way I thought to approach it. That's just the way that I thought that people might want to get a peek.
There's no other like dedicated behind the scenes of Rooster Teeth thing.
I don't think so. No.
Even now,
else would you do?
we kind of shifted with RT Life. It used to be very much just like, oh, this funny thing is happening. Let me whip out my camera and capture it. But now that's like a lot of the content we do on YouTube now is kind of more unscripted, fun YouTube stuff. And we've had a lot of people say like, oh, I miss when RT Life was like not planned and it would just be like something funny is happening and your camera's out. But that could only happen so much.
Right.
So RT Life has kind of shifted to be like, okay, we have to kind of manufacture these things to happen and like just have fun with it. And it's more of just like, here's this thing that we are going to do today or try today or whatever it is and bring you guys along for the ride. Yeah. So I don't know. Things evolve and shift. I don't know what point I was trying to make, but I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat these pickles.
Do it. Okay, last thing. The other thing that annoys me. it's the bitching part of the podcast.
The airing of grievances.
Hey, I mean, that's what the podcast is like. To me, it's helpful to be able to talk about that stuff on the podcast because you can't really explain or like defend yourself in those ways. I'm getting defensive. Other than like here.
Right.
I feel like this is an entertainment product though.
It is.
And like, I don't watch entertainment to
find it relatable.
Well, it's just like I wouldn't watch a movie about. I wouldn't watch a movie about my experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I watched Bad Boys the other day. I'm not going to do any of that. I was like, well, yeah.
Bad Boys for life.
Yeah.
They do it so you don't have to.
It's just a little bit of escapism, a little bit of
It's
I
also
like peeks into other people's life.
Like
Our life is kind of strange a lot.
I listen to a lot of podcasts from people who for example, Grace Helbig and Mamie Hart have a podcast that I listen to, and I've enjoyed them as content creators and listening to them and their stories. I don't want to be able to relate to them because it's a fun experience to hear like what these people in this unique situation experience. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
I don't think I listen to any like podcast that I would describe as relatable.
What about
Face Jam?
Face Jam.
I mean,
I feel like most people enjoy fast food.
I don't listen to Face Jam.
Good Morning from Hell because every day is hell in America.
So the other thing I saw is I've seen a few people, not a bunch, but I've seen the occasional post where someone's worried about coronavirus and they're worried.
This is the other thing you're annoyed about?
Yes. They're worried saying that maybe people shouldn't go to RTX because of coronavirus. There are other things in the world to worry about.
Yeah. I'd say you're more likely to have a gun confiscated from the airport than you are to get coronavirus.
I will personally give you coronavirus if you come to RTX. July 3rd to 5th, I will sneeze in your fucking face.
So buy tickets.
So buy tickets now. They're available. Free coronavirus from Gus.
Do you realize if you set up a sneezing booth where you just had like a bunch of pepper and shit, people would show up to be sneezed on?
It's so gross.
And they'd all be pissed because they're not going to get coronavirus from you.
I will import it.
You should have your own booth and like make it look like a medical tent. Come on,
it in animal
coronavirus from me, Gus.
I just think it's like, obviously, it's a huge concern for the people it's affecting, but there are other things that are way more likely to cause you harm or make you sick.
3 people in our country have it, and they're like contained.
Right.
Like it's not spreading here.
I'm going to look up
Yeah.
how many people were struck by lightning today.
There you go. Probably more people who have coronavirus right now.
That's actually less than I thought. In 2018, 20 people were killed by direct lightning strike. From 2009 to 2018, the average is 27 people a year.
So you're 4 times more likely to have your gun confiscated at Austin Airport than get struck by lightning.
Yes. I don't think that's quite applicable, but
Or,
yes,
get any other disease.
that is how it works.
The people who are
sickness,
like
the flu.
like worried about that stuff are like, I don't know, not thinking clearly. They're like too alarmist.
Well, I mean, is there no fear that it will mutate into something way worse?
I think there is that fear, of course, but
that's not a realistic fear right now.
yeah,
In February when RTX is in July.
I could get into a car crash going down the road on my way home.
It won't happen
after
because this
this.
car's too smart, but but it could happen.
It could happen. It's like
But don't charge it in the EU.
Don't be afraid about coming to RTX because of this alarmist stuff. I think a lot of this fear is overblown. The world is a scary place. Don't let that dissuade you from having fun.
I'd say you're more
about that?
likely to get AIDS at RTX. Is that inaccurate?
I'm not giving you that at RTX. I am not going to do that. No, don't give the lower third.
Oh, not on me.
Barbara's face.
Jesus Christ.
So I guess Chad won't want this episode to be AIDS at RTX.
Probably not.
Damn it.
I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be that either.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
think
going
it should be called coronavirus.
I don't
at
know.
RTX.
Like, have we tried that method for selling tickets?
No.
Scare tactics. Yeah.
The only thing you should be afraid of is missing out.
Oh.
Oh, FOMO.
The only thing we have to fear is FOMO itself. That's the way the saying goes. That's the title.
Yep, that's the title. That's a shirt too.
Fear of FOMO?
Fear of FOMO.
Fear
of missing out.
The fear
See,
of Mo.
I get JOMO
Phomophobia.
sometimes. Joy of missing out every now and then.
Yeah.
Like when you're at home
Yeah.
all comfy and you're like, I'm glad I didn't have to go to that thing. I'll go out.
Oh my God.
But RTX, you're going to miss out if you don't come.
That is a shirt. I'm FOMophobic.
Phomophobic.
Phomophobia should be a shirt.
Phomophobic is good.
Yeah. Someone write that down.
Should I get e-commerce on the horn?
And I want 0.0001 of profits.
I want one.
What?
A shirt? Okay, you can have one. Done.
shirt.
It's a deal.
Should have specified the unit.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up.
Oh man.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you listen to Face Jam.
Yeah, listen to Face Jam.
Listen to Good Morning from Hell. Come to RTX.
RTX, come for the coronavirus, stay for the AIDS.
That's a
Hell
comment
yeah.
from Colin C. Burns in the chat. All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.